So how do we fix the math remediation problem? Well, we've talked about the problem in the first part of the video, and now we're going to dive deep. As I said, I'm a medical physicist. I've been writing math and science curriculum as well for many years. I've been involved in education in different ways, and I want to help every child love mathematics and flourish in it. Why? Because math is beautiful. So when you meet a student at a college and they tell you, I'm struggling with math or I'm in a remedial math class, you need to help them learn the mathematics they need to learn fast and well. That's number one. But number two, you need to then teach them the skills and the mindset that will help them flourish in their journey. So let's talk about it. So we know that in the traditional sense of college remediation, students might be using a software or they might be using a book and they're being assigned all these problems and they're just going through the motions. We don't have to stop there. We can deal with the other problem they're faced with, which is the internal struggle where they might be anxious or discouraged and ashamed of being behind, quote unquote. Some of them have a fixed mindset. I'm just not a math person. I've always been bad at math. Meanwhile, the system is what was failing them, not their math ability. They might be very capable, but the system is just so bad that it makes the best of students become not good anymore. Some of them get bored, and there's just so many reasons, very troubling. Life factors happen. Maybe something happened along the way in 4th or 5th grade and the student was going through a difficult time and that's when fractions were introduced and the student missed the mark. And now it has affected them all the way to college. Let's fix this problem. So the truth is we're not just teaching brains and just dealing with people like they're not people. We're helping human beings flourish. That's my model for fixing remedial math education. So students are not broken. The system is incomplete. The system is fragmented. So you have elementary school and then you go into middle school and then you go into high school. But along the way, there's so many opportunities for people to get lost. And we don't teach the history of math. We don't teach the philosophy of math. We don't teach some of the things that will help students to love math. Sometimes because we have to meet the standards. But math is too beautiful to be limited by any standards. It's just too beautiful. A Mathematician's Lament talks a lot about this. A Mathematician's Apology gives another good framework. These are two great books that I recommend for all math teachers around the world. We are helping human beings flourish, not just helping students pass placement exams. That is part of the mindset we need to bring when we meet students at a college who are trying to do remedial math. So there's, in my model for solving remedial math, which I believe will help many schools. If your university needs help to rethink its math remediation plan, let me know. My off-duty role as a physicist is I want to help schools and universities to fix the math education challenges at their school. And so I have some availability to help a few schools to get off the ground, to help many students love math, flourish in math, so it doesn't limit the opportunities of what they can explore at the college level. If they're in college, some people give up on engineering because of their math skills. We can fix that problem. And we can fix it fast. We need to fix it fast because what we want to do is we want to help the students to learn all the mathematics. So that's the first part. In my accounting to calculus remediation version, which is called inspirational mathematics, in my inspirational mathematics, right, we're inspiring the students to care. The students need to master pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, pre-calculus, geometry, and calculus 1. They need to master all of that. That's part of what these workbooks are about behind me and this one as well. The students, they have workbooks. They have a list of topics they're working through. They're going one by one. They have videos they can watch. They have an instructor. For the mastery portion of the content, no problem. They need content knowledge, foundational skills, rigorous structure, skills fluency. Great. Number 2, we need to focus on how are you really doing, John? How are you doing? We need to focus on helping them build confidence. I can do math. I can do it. Not every great mathematician was good all the time. Some of them struggled. We don't tell those stories. I remember sitting in an organic chemistry lab and reading a little bit from Journey Through Genius, which is another book I recommend by William Dunham. And I'm reading this book and I realized something. Isaac Newton was an ordinary guy. I mean, yeah, he was pretty good at this, that, and the other. But like I started reading his story and I'm like, why didn't anyone tell me Isaac Newton's story? Like, tell me about the people that came up with these ideas. Tell me why they were so good at what they did, right? I've been to Isaac Newton's house, by the way. He's not my favorite mathematician. I do like him. But my favorite is Leonard Euler. And then my favorite physicist is James Clerk Maxwell. And we have his book here as well. So this leads me to the other thing you do with your students. they have to know the people behind the ideas. John Napier, with logarithms, we teach logarithms in Algebra 2, he was an amateur mathematician. Imagine if your students begin to see the human side of these people they've been learning about. I think that's huge. So we need to build their confidence. We need to tell them stories. We need to show them the applications of the mathematics they're learning. We need to help them have a vision for their lives, get them connected to a mentor in those fields they're willing to explore. See, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help them flourish as human beings. Remedial math education needs a different perspective, I would say. We need to teach them how to manage stress. We need to teach them that they can do it. They have what it takes. So that means remedial math instructors need to act like coaches. They need to be inspirational because you're dealing with a situation where somebody might not have loved math and now is just trying to get it out of the way and move on with their lives. But math is too beautiful to do that too. Math is too beautiful to just be like, I just want to get it out of the way. No. It's beautiful. And we got to show it to them. We have to tell them the stories. So this approach restores mathematical competence by restoring meaning, context, and belief in the student. Meaning, context, and belief. So we need to give them the foundational mastery, that's what they need. We need to give them the context, and we need to coach them. So students need to have a solid foundation. You can't work on fractions if you don't know prime factorization. You can't work on polynomial factoring if you don't know about factors. There is just no way around it. Mathematics does not respect anybody's age or grade level. It only cares about your mastery-based progression. So we need a solid foundation. We need the context, and we need to inspire them. Teachers need to act like coaches. So in the cumulative foundational piece of this, they're going to learn pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, pre-calculus, trigonometry, calculus 1 as one course in a year or less. How cool is that? Give them all of it. It takes about 248 topics to get into calculus 1, and then you move from there. So give me 32 weeks. And I'll help any instructor to build this out so that in less than a year, the student goes from, I was the worst in my high school in math, or I was the worst in middle school, and they start saying, I love math. It makes sense. They see the connections. They have to see the connections. And it's not just enough in seeing the connections of the math topics, it's also seeing the people behind the math topics. So we need conceptual understanding, skill fluency, logical structure. We need a structure to how they're learning. No gaps, no shortcuts, no artificial pacing. They move at the pace of their mastery. So students don't struggle in calculus a lot of the time because calculus is hard. Sometimes it's because their pre-algebra and algebra skills were not as strong. Students struggle sometimes because earlier foundations were rushed, they were fragmented, or they were never mastered. So we need to fix some of those things while teaching them to have the right mindset to mathematics. Mastery at every level unlocks the next. We have an app, we have tools that we've put together, we have booklets, we have resources to help students. And we are also willing to build out resources for people tailored to their needs. So students need to have good number sense, proportional reasoning, algebraic thinking, symbol fluency, logical reasoning skills. They need to have confidence and belief, and a belief that they can do it. And then we give them the right tools to build on. So one of the questions students will ask is, when am I ever going to use this? And we need to help students see that there are times where they're going to use the concepts, like in prime numbers. If you know prime numbers, then you can deal with encryption and decryption better, right? There's applications of prime numbers, but the key is that math is beautiful even if there's no application in sight. We have to inspire them to see that. Okay, mathematics is not some random story. It's part of the human journey, like discovery, civilizations, different roles that have been played. Math opens doors to countless fields and careers, and we need to help students to have those opportunities and not be limited by the methods we use. Mathematics becomes a tool for agency, not a hurdle. So let's raise the bar. Let's encourage our students. Let's give them a clear vision, and let remedial math be a launching pad for more students all across America. I'm excited to provide support, as I said, to institutions around the country who are trying to upskill when it comes to remediation. Inspirational mathematics is the solution to college remediation because it inspires people to realize that they're capable of so much more. I would love to help you help your students do that. My website is countingtocalculusandbeyond.com. countingtocalculusandbeyond.com. My name is Amos. Take care and have a blessed day.